Let me tell you something no one says out loud. Getting older does not mean getting weaker. It does not mean becoming irrelevant. And it absolutely does not mean your best years are already behind you. That story, the one society keeps repeating, that aging is only about loss, decline, and limitation, that story is incomplete. Because the truth is far more powerful. Right now, there are people between the ages of 65 and 85 who are aging better than people 20, even 30 years younger. Not moving faster, not trying to look younger, not chasing youth, but aging stronger. Stronger in how they think, stronger in how they respond to life, stronger in how they carry themselves when challenges appear. And here's the part most people don't understand. It's not because of luck. It's not because of perfect genes. And it's definitely not because they had an easier life. In many cases, they've been through more pain, more loss, more disappointment, more struggle than most people watching this right now. Yet something inside them stayed intact. They didn't just survive aging, they adapted to it. Because while most people quietly lose certain abilities as they grow older, these individuals held on to a few critical ones. 5, to be exact. 5 powerful abilities that quietly determine how well or how poorly a person truly ages. Not according to mirrors, not according to birthdays, but according to function, clarity, and inner strength. And here's something important. If you still have even 3 of these abilities, you are not falling behind. You're aging better than most of the population, better than many people who are younger in years, but older in spirit, better than those who gave up mentally long before their body had to. And I want you to stay with me until the end, because number 5 is the one doctors rarely talk about. It doesn't show up clearly on scans. It doesn't come back in blood test results. But it predicts long life, mental strength, and emotional stability better than almost any medical measurement. And once you recognize it in yourself, you'll stop seeing aging as a decline and start seeing it as a different kind of power. Let's begin. Be honest with yourself for a moment, not with the world, not with your family, just with yourself. Can you still learn how to use a new phone, even if it feels uncomfortable at first? Can you still listen to a new idea without immediately rejecting it? Can you still change your opinion when new information shows up? If the answer is yes, even sometimes, that is not a small thing. That is power. Because most people don't age physically first. They age mentally. Long before the body slows down, the mind quietly shuts its doors. People stop asking questions. They stop exploring. They stop saying, "Let me try." And when curiosity dies, aging accelerates. Not in years, in function. Your brain is not fixed. It is not finished. It is not done learning. Your brain is a muscle. When you challenge it, it strengthens. When you expose it to new patterns, it adapts. When you ask it to solve unfamiliar problems, it grows new connections. But when you stop using it, when you repeat the same thoughts, the same routines, the same conversations, it shrinks, quietly, gradually, without warning. That's why 2 people of the same age can look and function completely differently. One becomes rigid, easily frustrated, unwilling to listen. The other stays flexible, curious, open. The difference is not intelligence, it's willingness. If you can still say, "I don't know how this works, but I'm willing to learn," you are already ahead of millions of people. That sentence alone keeps your brain young. Learning doesn't mean school. It doesn't mean textbooks or exams. It means trying something unfamiliar. Listening before judging, allowing yourself to be a beginner again. Yes, it can feel uncomfortable. Learning requires humility. It requires patience. It requires letting go of the need to already have all the answers. But that discomfort is not weakness, it's growth. This single ability protects you from things most people fear as they age: cognitive decline, early memory loss, mental rigidity, emotional inflexibility. People who continue learning don't just remember better, they adapt better. They solve problems instead of panicking. They adjust instead of resisting. They stay engaged with life instead of withdrawing from it. And here's something important. Learning keeps your brain alive, not just active. You can be busy and still mentally aging. You can be active and still mentally closed. But when curiosity is alive, your mind stays sharp. Your reactions stay balanced. Your sense of identity stays strong. So if you're watching this and thinking, I still want to understand things, I still want to improve, I still want to grow, then listen carefully. You are not falling behind. You are aging exceptionally well. And this is only the first ability. Life hits hard. At 20, you fall and laugh. At 40, you fall and get angry. At 70, many people stop getting up. Not because they can't, but because they believe they shouldn't anymore. They start telling themselves, it's too late. It's not worth it. That's just how life is now. And that belief is far more dangerous than the fall itself. Because aging doesn't break people. Giving up does. If you can still recover from setbacks, if you can still adapt after loss, if you can still try again after disappointment, that is not weakness. That is resilience. Resilience is one of the most misunderstood strengths in the world. It is not about being tough all the time. It is not about ignoring pain. And it is definitely not about pretending everything is fine. Resilience is about this simple decision. I may be slower, but I'm not finished. You may walk slower now. You may rest longer than before. You may need more time to heal, physically and emotionally. And that's not failure. That's wisdom. Resilient people don't rush back into life the same way they did at 20. They return with awareness, with patience, with respect for their limits. But they still return. They still engage. They still try. They still believe effort matters. Loss becomes heavier with age. You lose people. You lose routines. You lose versions of yourself you once recognized. And yet, resilient individuals do something powerful. They grieve, but they don't surrender. They acknowledge pain, but they don't let it define the rest of their story. They understand something most people never learn. Pain is inevitable. Quitting is optional. Resilience isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed on a difficult morning, making a phone call you've been avoiding, taking one small step forward when you feel tired, and those small steps matter more now than ever. Because every time you get back up, your mind reinforces a powerful message. I can handle this. That belief protects your mental health. It strengthens emotional stability. It even improves physical recovery. People who maintain resilience don't just live longer. They live with more dignity. They don't measure life by speed. They measure it by continuation. So if your spirit still whispers, I'm not done yet, I still have something to give, I can try one more time, then listen to that voice. That is not stubbornness. That is not denial. That is strength refined by experience. And if you still have that voice inside you, you are not merely aging. You are aging with power. And that makes all the difference. That retirement means rest forever. It sounds harmless, even comforting, but it's wrong, because the human body weakens without purpose, and the human mind fades without meaning. Rest is necessary, yes, but permanent disengagement is not rest. It's slow withdrawal. If you wake up in the morning with a reason to get up, even a small one, your entire system responds differently. Purpose gives structure to your day, direction to your thoughts, and stability to your emotions. If you still wake up with a reason to help someone, a habit that matters to you, a responsibility you genuinely care about, that is not obligation. That is life energy, and your body recognizes it immediately. People with purpose don't just feel better, they function better. Research consistently shows that people who maintain a sense of purpose live longer, heal faster, experience less chronic pain, and show stronger mental resilience. Why? Because purpose reduces stress hormones. It regulates the nervous system. It gives the brain a reason to stay engaged. Without purpose, days blur together. Motivation fades, movement decreases, and the body follows the mind. But purpose doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be public. And it doesn't have to impress anyone. Purpose is deeply personal. Sometimes it looks like caring for a plant and watching it grow. Teaching a grandchild how to do something simple. Preparing a meal that brings comfort. Sharing a lesson learned through years of experience. These moments may look small, but to the brain and body they are powerful signals. I am still needed. I still matter. I still contribute. And that belief changes everything. People who feel needed take better care of themselves. They move more. They eat better. They stay mentally alert. Not because they're forcing themselves, but because their life still feels relevant. Purpose also protects emotional health. It reduces loneliness. It prevents hopelessness. It anchors you during difficult seasons. When challenges arise, and they will, purpose provides a reason to keep going. It's not about staying busy. It's about staying connected to something meaningful. If you still feel that pull, that quiet sense that what you do matters to someone, then listen carefully. You are not drifting through life. You are aging exceptionally well. Because purpose is not something you lose with age. It's something you refine. And if it's still present in your life, your aging process is not a decline. It's a transition into wisdom. Watch closely. Some people age and become bitter. Others age and become peaceful. They may have lived similar lives, faced similar losses, endured similar disappointments. So what's the difference? Emotional control, not emotional suppression, not pretending everything is fine, but the ability to regulate what you feel. And more importantly, how you respond. If you can still pause before reacting, if you can let go of old anger that no longer serves you, if you can stay calm in difficult moments, that is not luck. That is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence becomes more valuable with age. When people are younger, emotions often run the show. Reactions are quick. Responses are sharp. But over time, something changes. Life teaches you that reacting instantly doesn't always protect you. Holding on to anger doesn't always make you strong, and fighting every battle only drains what little energy matters most. Emotionally intelligent people learn this lesson. They realize that peace is not weakness, it's strategy. Stress ages the body faster than time itself. Chronic stress keeps the nervous system in survival mode. It raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, weakens the immune system, and slowly, quietly, it wears the body down. Calm does the opposite. Calm signals safety to the brain. It tells the body, you can relax, you can repair, you can heal. Your heart responds to emotional balance. Your blood pressure stabilizes. Your immune system functions more efficiently. This is not philosophy. This is biology. Emotion regulation directly affects physical health. And here's something most people never realize. Letting go of anger is not about forgiving others. It's about freeing yourself. Old anger keeps the body tense. It keeps the mind replaying the same moments. It traps you in the past. Emotionally intelligent individuals understand something powerful. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every disagreement needs to be won. Not every battle needs to be fought. They choose peace when chaos is available. That choice preserves energy. It protects mental clarity, and it extends emotional longevity. Staying calm in difficult moments doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let feelings control your actions. You acknowledge frustration without exploding. You feel sadness without collapsing. You experience disappointment without becoming bitter. That balance is rare, and it is deeply powerful. People who regulate emotions communicate better. They maintain stronger relationships. They recover faster from stress. They don't add unnecessary suffering to situations that are already hard. If you've reached a point in life where you can say, I don't need to prove myself. I don't need to react to everything. I value peace more than being right. Then understand this. You've reached a level of wisdom most people never achieve. You didn't lose your edge. You refined it. You learned that calm is not passive. It's controlled strength. And if this ability still lives inside you, your aging process is not wearing you down. It is shaping you into something steadier, something wiser, something powerful in its own quiet way. That kind of emotional mastery is not common, and it is one of the clearest signs of aging well. This one matters deeply, because loneliness ages faster than disease. It weakens the body quietly, it drains the mind slowly, and it affects health just as powerfully as poor nutrition or lack of movement. Human beings are not designed to age alone. If you can still hold meaningful conversations, if you can listen without interrupting, if you can feel genuine empathy for others, that is not just a social skill, that is biological strength. Your nervous system depends on connection. When you feel understood, your brain releases calming chemicals. Stress hormones drop, your heart rate stabilizes. Connection signals safety to the body. And when the body feels safe, it functions better. This is why people with strong social bonds have sharper memory, experience more stable moods, recover faster from illness, and report a higher sense of life satisfaction. Connection doesn't require many people. It requires real people. One honest conversation can do more for your health than a room full of strangers who don't truly see you. Real connection is not small talk. It's presence. It's listening without preparing your reply. It's caring without trying to fix everything. It's being emotionally available, even in silence. As people age, many lose this ability, not because they want to, but because they've been hurt. They've experienced loss, disappointment, broken trust. So they protect themselves by pulling away. But those who continue to connect, even gently, age differently. They stay mentally engaged. They remain emotionally flexible. They keep their identity intact. Empathy is especially powerful when you can still feel for others, their joy, their pain, their struggles. Your emotional range stays alive. Empathy prevents emotional numbness. It keeps the heart open, And an open heart ages far better than a guarded one. Listening without interrupting is another quiet strength. It shows patience. It shows respect. It shows emotional maturity. People who listen well build deeper relationships, and deep relationships protect against isolation. Isolation doesn't just make people lonely, it accelerates decline. But connection slows time. It gives days meaning. It gives experiences context. It gives life warmth. You don't need constant social activity. You don't need large gatherings. You need authenticity. One person who knows you. One conversation where you feel heard. One moment of shared understanding. That's enough to keep the nervous system strong. If you can still reach out, still open up, still connect, even in small ways, then listen carefully. You are not fading. You are aging with depth. And depth is what makes later years not just longer, but richer. This ability to connect is one of the strongest predictors of aging well. And if it's still present in your life, you are doing far better than you may realize. If you're watching this and quietly thinking to yourself, I still have these abilities, then listen carefully. You are not declining. You are evolving. The world often treats aging like a slow disappearance, as if growing older means fading into the background. But that's not what real aging looks like. Real aging is refinement. It's depth. It's learning what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. Aging isn't about what you lose. It's about what you retain. You may have lost speed. You may have lost strength. You may have lost people, places, or versions of yourself. But if you've retained curiosity, the willingness to learn, to stay open, to keep growing, if you've retained resilience, the ability to get back up, to adapt, to continue even when life tested you, if you've retained purpose, a reason to wake up, to care, to contribute in your own way, if you've retained emotional control, the wisdom to pause, to choose peace, and to protect your inner balance, and if you've retained human connection, the ability to listen, to empathize, to truly see and be seen, then understand this. You are aging better than most. Better than those who gave up mentally long before their body asked them to. Better than those who allowed bitterness to replace wisdom. Better than those who stopped believing they still matter. What you've kept is rare, and it matters far more than appearances, numbers, or timelines. This is the quiet victory no one applauds, but it's the one that defines a life well lived. So if these words resonate with you, if you recognize yourself in this message, comment below, I'm still strong, not as a declaration to the world, but as a reminder to yourself, because you are.